Hello, this week we're going to be discussing Hokum, the new movie from Damian McCarthy. Will we find out if Daz crapped his pants in the cinema? You'll have to stick around to find out. Hello, folks. This week we're going to be discussing Hokum. Yeah, this is a good one I've been looking forward to. For those of you who are new to the channel, we're just going to be doing a very spoiler-free discussion / review with a few little spoiler bits at the end. My name is Phil. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined as always by my awesome co-host Daz. So yeah, Daz, I'll just do a bit of a kind of yap about the synopsis and then get your opening thoughts. So this is a prickly alcoholic novelist named Owen Bowman travels to a remote windswept Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes and find closure. His cynical worldview is shattered when he discovers that the honeymoon suite is allegedly haunted by a vengeful witch. What begins as a skeptical investigation devolves into a terrifying psychological descent as Owen's grief and the local folklore collide. As I said, written and directed by Damian McCarthy, cinematographer Colin Hogan, sound design by Asa Hand, Richard G. Mitchell doing the music, and then as I said, Adam Scott is the main cast member, but there's also a very good supporting Irish cast. Peter Coonan, David Wilmot, Florence Ordish, Michael Patrick, and others. So, Daz, give me your opening thoughts on this one. What did you think?
Well, Jesus fucking Christ. This movie scared the fucking absolute piss out of me. I really enjoyed it, but no, that's wrong. I didn't enjoy it, but this is a very good movie. I'm really happy I got through it. I don't think I particularly enjoyed the cinema experience because it's one of the most terrifying movies I've seen in quite some time. If we weren't doing it for the podcast, I would never have been in that cinema. And even after 30 minutes, the only reason I stayed is because we were reviewing the podcast. I did even contemplate at one moment, like after 30 minutes, checked IMDb and there was another 70 to go. And it was like, can I just leave now and somehow just fucking wing it with a ChatGPT synopsis of it? And would you know the fucking difference? I was just like, fuck this. But yeah, this is, I thought it was great. In retrospect, I thought it was great. Yeah, it's just a really good horror movie. And I hate jump scares and stuff, but the jump scares in this, there were fucking shitloads of them. But they felt really well earned because of the sense of tension, impending doom and dread was unbearable and pretty fucking cool. Yeah, and just the cast and story, I thought it was kind of cool. It was very simple in terms of setup, and the location really obviously was effective as a scary movie location. But as you touched in the synopsis, it's like, it's about the character and the writer, and it's also a scary hotel movie, and there's kind of witches and supernatural stuff, but it's kind of multi-layered, and you have little murder mystery thrown in there for good measure. But afterwards I thought this is a really good movie. At the time, I wanted to get the fuck out of there. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the scariest one we've done, scariest movie. Like, even there's a couple of jump moments that got me, and usually I would, because I'm so desensitized because the amount of these things that I watch. Even my heart was going out to you when I was watching. I think poor Daz is probably crapping himself. But no, I absolutely loved this. Like, I thought the praise for Oddity was, some of it was deserved, but I thought maybe a little bit over the top. But I think Oddity was probably the reason that he was given the money to do something like this. Like, both Oddity and his other movie Caveat were both made for less than $1 million. I think it was like 700 grand or something. It was for, so to get what I don't have a budget for this. I searched, but I'd imagine with the fact that it's got Adam Scott in it, we're probably talking somewhere between 15, 25 kind of area, maybe around that. Won't know for another while. I imagine it'll get released. But yeah, I thought this was fantastic. I think one of the things that bothered me about Caveat at Home is, look, I'm no shade in Irish actors. I just, as much as I loved the story and the atmosphere, I wasn't too sold on the performances in those movies. Whereas in this, I thought they were great. Obviously, Adam Scott is fantastic, and it was great to see him play a different type of character. Like he's generally quite likable in most roles that he's in, and in this one, he's had a hard life based on stuff that's happened as a childhood, and he's sarcastic and unnecessarily mean, and he's just not a very likable person. and he's fighting his own internal demons and all the rest of it. But it was great to see him play a role like this, and I really hope this does well outside of Ireland. And I think that it will. I think having him on board kind of sells it that bit more. Um, the Why don't we'll stick with performances just for the start. Give me a bit more of what you thought of Adam Scott. Like I said, he has this embittered and sarcastic kind of character. But what did you think of him in this kind of very serious role?
Yeah, it's great because obviously we love him from Parks and Rec and kind of more recently Severance, and he's such a likable actor. Like he's just easily watchable. And it was kind of nice seeing a different kind of side to him, and he's just a bit of a prick from the offset and just a rude, pompous, obnoxious wanker, and just going fucking hell, like. But there's a nice kind of turn to that when you just find out more about his character, and kind of like such a dark element to his character and a dark kind of past, and the fact that struggling writer thing is always just kind of works in horror movies, but he sells that sense of like what the fuck is going on pretty well. And especially when it's kind of such a small cast, like he obviously gets top billing and gets the most screen time, but he works well off just a few scenes with other cast members. The kind of chemistry between them was really great, and those scenes between himself and like Florence as Fiona, and who was David Wilmot as Jerry, I thought he was fucking brilliant. But yeah, he's really effective in a horror movie. Like he looked as terrified as me at times, that I was feeling his pain, and especially as well, it's nice to see a horror movie where the characters are not making stupid fucking decisions. Like he comes across as a pretty smart guy, and he's kind of doing what you think you would do in that scenario. You try to put yourself in that and like make the character as believable as possible. Although there's no way I would go into the fucking basement, but we'll get to that. But yeah, no, I thought he was excellent, and the small kind of supporting cast around him just added to that. I thought they were all fucking just really, really solid. Really great performance.
Yeah, I definitely agree with regard. Like David Wilmot as Jerry. Like I think I haven't even seen him in a couple. Yeah, like I think he provides a lot. Like both him and Fiona kind of provide a lot of heart, I think, for it, to the movie compared to his Adam Scott's sarcastic nature, and as you said, just being a bit of a brash dickhead. They kind of bring the heart and the humor. Like she doesn't take any shit. Like he's working in a hospital. He goes into this hotel and he treats the staff like second class citizens. And the way she's going to help him at one point, Fiona, and then she's just like, well, if you're gonna be a dickhead, you can fuck off. Like she's having none of them, but at the same time, when other people are noses are out of joint with him, she's the only one that kind of really, she's the one that's on his side or wanting to give him that extra bit of a chance, like she sees something in him. And then Jerry himself is just, he's the guy who's like this woodland stranger, like he living out in the living out in the woods, and he drinking fucking mushrooms, mushies mixed with goat's milk off his tits, and so I thought, I just thought it was really, I loved his humor. Like it's a little bit unhinged, but also very lovable. I was rooting for Jerry the whole time. I thought he was great. And again, just with Florence Ordish as Fiona, like that there's something very warm and welcoming, especially when she's serving him at the bar. There's just this loveliness about her. Like she's
that's
going
kind of lighthearted as well, It's lighthearted when she's asking about his, tell me the ending to your book, and he tells her the ending. She's like, well, I wouldn't fucking read that. You know what I mean? It's a horrible ending to a trilogy of books. Just like, it's really funny. Peter Coonan was really, really great. I didn't even recognize him at the start. He's fucking excellent. I mean, really, he's kind of probably gets obviously the most screen time of the supporting actors, and he has a nice turn to his character. It's nice to see it from an Irish movie that everyone was firing on all cylinders. It's just really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I have one more to mention as well, just regarding the cast, is Will O'Connell, who played he played Albie, the bellboy. Or just their interactions. Him and Adam Scott's interactions were some of my favorite bits in the movie. But he's in Caveat as well, and it's kind of
okay.
Yeah, I think like he does. He seems to. Damian McCarthy seems to do something similar to another director we spoke about on here, which is Mike Flanagan. of using a lot of the same cast, in another horror project, but using a lot of the same cast. Which is, it's cool. I mean, just that's high praise if you're getting, related to him. But I think that it's cool to have him to their interaction, with the spoon and everything on it was just great. Maybe we'll just do a bit on the direction, because being a writer director to come up with something like this, I just like hats off to him. Like, this is 3 in a row of, like, his movies have gotten, in my book, progressively better. Like, Caveat's good, Oddity's very good, and for me this was great. Like, I'm absolutely loving his style. There's so much confidence in it, and it's great that he's been given that extra few quid because of how well Oddity did in the States. Now, I'm not saying it went fucking, Paranormal Activity kind of stuff, like, but it still made money for an indie movie to make that kind of money without any huge build up around it or advertisement, like, and I think that's what got him off the ground here. But I really enjoyed this, story. I think it's got this real claustrophobic feel to it, because he makes these sets, like, he makes these sets feel that, with him, and obviously with Hogan, they make these sets feel very claustrophobic. Like that room that he's in, the honeymoon suite, at times you're just like, I don't want to be in this room anymore. But what did you feel about the story and stuff? Because obviously there's a lot of metaphors and stuff mixed into it, with regards to his own grief and all that stuff. But what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, the best compliment you could give kind of a movie like this, or a director like this, and writers, it reminded me of The Shining. I mean, obviously a little bit more of a low budget outing, but it's just the sense of setting, sense of place. I mean, when he's, because I knew fucking nothing about this, so when the movie starts straight away and he's a writer, you're kind of going, okay, here we go. And then when he heads off to the hotel, he just like, he sees it on a flyer, and his parents, had some fun here, and you're just going, don't go to the fucking hotel, don't go to, but that location, just the way it's written is brilliant. That you get some nice sequences, in the woods and the way there when he meets, Jerry and stuff. But when it gets into the hotel, like it doesn't waste its time, everything, it starts to go fucking mad, in the first night. It's not just like, bit by bit, it just really kind of dives into it. And he goes, head first, which is fucking brilliant. And like it's more so from a directing point of view, it kind of almost just ties into the cinematography, just how he like places the camera, and like, well, from a cinematography point of view, it's lit, it's so dark, and it's very, looks like a premium horror, and it's dark and creepy and all that kind of stuff, which lends itself to being absolutely terrifying. But from a directing point of view, like where he puts the camera, like I haven't been this scared since I saw like Hereditary or something like that, where there's so many, like, where we talk about kind of confident filmmaking, when you just, like in a horror movie, more often than not, some jump scares are telegraphed, the way it's framed and all this stuff, and it's just, I hate that kind of shit. Where here, this, like, when other movies would have a longer lens and they're really directing where they want you to look and where the scare is going to be. There's so many times in this, especially in that honeymoon suite, where it's using a lot of wide, it's locked off wide angle lens. That reminds me of Hereditary, where it's not telling you where to look, it's asking the viewer to kind of scan the frame.
Have a guess, where's it going to come from?
And that's just like, oh, fuck you, you know what I mean? Just, tell me where the scare is coming from. But that's just confident horror filmmaking, and he's, on one hand, it makes me want to watch more of his movies, but then I kind of don't as well. Like, these movies are just of this caliber of scares and horror, just really, like, they're not something that I'm going to be going out seeking unless I have to watch them. But he's a director to watch, and it's great to see that he's because this movie was in South by Southwest and really got amazing plaudits, and obviously he's gone from strength to strength, and it's getting reviewed on loads of the kind of American platforms and reviewers that I would follow, and to see that be reviewed on that scale, and been reviewed very well across the board, it's just like, yep, happy days. He's one to watch. He's an excellent director, like excellent, and writer.
and directed and filmed in your home county as well. Most of it was filmed in West Cork, was
Yeah,
it, in Skibbereen and stuff?
yeah, fucking brilliant. West Cork, scary place.
I
It's
like. I mean,
gorgeous.
as well as these, like, wide shots, as you said, for the jump scares. I liked, like, there's one thing McCarthy was saying in one of his interviews was about how he does the frame manipulation. Like, so when he's doing editing process, he'll take out one or two frames at a time, so it gives it this
Okay,
jittery
yeah,
moment. But
yeah,
because it's
yeah.
just one single frame, it makes it slightly wrong, but you can't figure out why it doesn't
Why
look
you're
right.
unnerved?
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, that's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, and I think that's brilliant. Like, and even as you said, a lot of the jump scares you're getting the kind of the POV, the point of view horror, and I think that's what makes found footage one scary for me, is that you're always seeing through the camera. You're not going to see it from anything else, and so something's about to come when they look at the mirror and it's not there, and then they look away, they look back, and all of a sudden there's something behind them. That kind of
Yeah,
stuff. And I think that
yeah,
when you're doing that in this, I thought that he was it made the kind of the geography seem a little bit weird, in a good way, as into what the hell is going on when you see from Adam Scott's point of view. Because sometimes you will see something, sometimes you won't. But when you're locked into his POV, that was some of the scary shit for me. Because you're like, okay, well, where exactly was the big fucking what should we call it? The jacuzzi pool set? Is that room? And
yeah.
I couldn't try to figure out the geography even of just that bridal suite. I was like, okay, whereabouts is everything? But not in a bad way, and which a lot of times it is.
It is. Yeah.
But I thought I really, really enjoyed the way he shot it. And the I think there was another thing about his how he gets these sets and sets them up, is that he does the storyboards for every shot himself, rather than going up and going, okay, why don't we try this, or why don't we try that? He kind of has it in advance, everything meticulously planned out, which makes it
That's pretty
feel
cool.
so tight and enclosed. Yeah, there's no excess or unneeded things. Everything is in that shot that he wants to have in that shot, which I think, yeah, is really appreciated. With regards to the writing, like, as I said, there's metaphors in here, like, with regards to his own grief and how he deals with them, and you can see that he's just trying to fix things when the reason he has to go into the suite, like, he rushes in to fix that, which wouldn't really sit with a character who we've kind of found as a dickhead. There's no real reason
Yeah.
for him to go and do this, but he's looking for a way to fix it, to make it right. And when we find out what happened to him when he's younger, that does make sense. That that's what he's trying to do. So I thought, yeah, I enjoyed the writing. I thought it was clever. I thought it was fucking creepy, creepy as shit. And like some of the jumps as well, when they do jump, they stay on it, as well. Like, and they
Yeah.
like, yeah, which I really liked. There's, there's one that really, there's one of the best jump scares of all time. I think it's The Exorcist. Is it 3? Exorcist 3 in the mental hospital. Yeah. I can't remember if it's Exorcist 2 or 3. I always get them mixed up. There's something similar to that in this, with him, and his mother comes in behind him, and that one got me. I was like, oh, that's so great. I absolutely loved it. And it's the silence. There's no big jump when she appears. It's just when these jump scares get done, they can come in absolute silence. It's just him walking in the room, and then you see it, and that makes it even
It's the beauty
scarier. It's so brave, I think, to do stuff like that.
because that's the nature of a simple jump scare. Like I said it before numerous times, that, like, if you're in a bathroom and I just wait outside and you come out and I go, and it scared the shit out of you. It's that simple to fucking do. It's just like silence, bang, and this wasn't that. It's like you're almost you want the jump scare to come, because it's just this sense of fucking dread and atmosphere that's just like it piercing you. It's just fucking grabbing you. Like, my fingers were sore after this fucking movie driving home. Just like, what the fuck is that all about? Well, what was I grabbing? Fingerprints in the seat. But like, yeah, just on a writing point as well. Yeah, it's the metaphors are all around. It's just really nice that, like, the hotel, the whole scenario is kind of mirroring his internal fucking conflict and all that kind of stuff, and the way even the visuals of the story he's trying to write, which is another point on cinematography. Like, there's lovely shots, obviously, in the movie, in the hotel, and the surrounding kind of woods and stuff. But there's, when you look at locations like, West Cork and this, and then it's just fucking Dubai or something, or it's like a big fucking Sahara desert shots, with the movie opens with, and just like, holy shit, and that's just absolutely gorgeous. And the final frame of this movie is just one you just stick up in your wall. It's like fucking gorgeous. but it's kind of simple sometimes and on the nose in terms of what he's writing is a symbol of where he is in terms of his. He's not the most positive guy, and the ending he's about to write is going to be very pessimistic, and that all changes and through his interactions in a hotel. But it's multi-layered. It's not just your simple scary hotel with a witch or some shit. These movies that have like or like somebody moves into a house and there's just a haunted baby or a haunted kid, scary kid. Just that kind of stuff is just so simple and one note that you can just copy paste. Where this, as it makes sense when you're talking about that, there's a lot gone into it. It's kind of meticulous in terms of how he went about it, and that comes across on the screen absolutely big time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think part of making the hotel look that kind of way is that it's how he kind of how it's lit. Like as I said, Colin Hogan was the DP, and he's used the tint that he uses, like this like specific yellow and bluish kind of green tint, and it kind of makes the hotel look stagnant. Like it makes it look like it's there's no life in this place, whereas really that type of hotel is like country fucking hotel where they're having like Halloween parties will be the absolute crack. It'll be full of life. It'll be all so it's just but it's to make it look almost like you said at the start as the overlook, it's to make it look abandoned almost. Like it's the end of season, off season, blah blah blah. And to make it look that way, I think that's great. It just gives it a much more intimate feeling.
Yeah, exactly. But just weird and creepy, and straight away you're just like something off about this place. And you can't quite put something on it, but it's just like everyone just looks a little bit. It's a bit of a weird fucking place. Which is we've all been in one of those places, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whether they meant it to look that way or not, we've all been there. Yeah. I wanted this just go a bit more because we just touched on the sound design there a little bit with regards to silences and stuff, and he does use that quite a bit. Like if you've seen Oddity, and there's a lot of silence in it, and it's like the whatchamacallit, what was the word I'm going to use? Yes, the Foley artist. Sorry, can't believe it. Forgot their name. Apologies, Foley artists out there. I loved, again, something we mentioned similar from The Mummy was the kind of the wet scraping noises and stuff, and they sound like they're coming from the row behind you in the cinema, almost that they're so close. And I absolutely love that. Even there's a point where he's undoing this screw, and you just feel like you're there with him, under the desk, and
all those kind of things just make it shit your pants in the cinema, especially when it's just you've got that atmosphere and you've got that sense of dread, and it just goes really quiet, and it's not the jump scare that kind of terrifies you. It's those little things like the little screw, trying to get the screw, or it's just really kind of silent, and it's like this. The use of just bells in this fucking movie, just a simple thing of like a bell ringing, like ding, 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 just 2 or 3 times during this. Just a simple ringing of a bell made me just go, fuck off, in a packed cinema. Just like, that was my front row for. That's learned that. Like, I'm not going to. I'll be back row for horrors from now on. Just couldn't. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't want to be on the front row. But yeah, some of the sound design when it's quiet needs to be quiet, and when it kind of ramps up and you get a jump scare, it's not too cheap. Like there's one with a TV where the sound is it ends up being kind of what's on the TV. If you're in a creepy haunted fucking honeymoon suite with a TV turned on, don't go put your face up to the fucking TV, you fucking nut job. But yeah, like
I think
sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's almost that like when we mentioned there's no frills around the visuals. It's the same with the audio. Like he purposely cuts out, like there's no. You don't hear any wind or, apart from that crackle of the TV, or that there's nothing. There's no sound. Everything silent. Is just like you're, and that's almost what makes it scary. What the fuck is coming? And one interesting fact, actually, I thought was I was trying to pin what the witch was saying because it was so difficult to make her out, and I was like, is she speaking Australia? I couldn't tell because it was so thing. But apparently they did. You can see when he's listening to the wallpaper, trying to hear what he can hear through the room. And what they did was they layered over dozens of tracks of distorted dialogue, and then they played it like backwards and slowed it down. And so it's just to make it sound just enough like it's saying something, but it's not. Which is really cool because I wasn't sure. I was like, is that Irishness really low? I just couldn't hear. But I thought that was cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to kind of go into with regards to the technical aspect of it. We've touched on the story. I mean, touched on the story quite a bit already. I don't want to go into it too much without ruining it. Like it's not just your regular, as you said, ghost story. As you were saying that you not just fucking added, okay, there's a creepy witch, there's a creepy kid. Like they
Yeah.
all that they all have a meaning behind it. Like it is a metaphor for his grief. And I found that this, for me, I was much more emotionally involved in this than I was in his previous two movies. Like I really felt that this obsession that he has in general about things, it's all driven by his grief. And I felt more involved in that story than I did really care about the characters in his previous movies. Not to say that they weren't good, I just didn't really, but I bought into this a lot more. I felt, despite his character being a dickhead, I was still rooting for him. And yeah, and I loved, I mean, getting stuff, anything that brings in Irish inspired like folklore, like we get, even like how much I love the way they put it into Sinners, like getting stuff into that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just, I'm delighted that it's, you get to see that on the big stage and everybody to enjoy it. Okay, so look, I mean, that thing we've harped on enough, or I definitely have, about the story and everything else. I think we've covered a good bit of it without actually spoiling anything. For those
Yeah.
of you those of you want to go and see it. So why don't we stick a star rating on it, and then me and you can do a bit more spoiler stuff about the story, and then we'll finish up. What do you want to put on it, star wise, Daz? I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, I'd say like it's either 4 or 4.5. I'd probably just go. Yeah, no, I'd go 4.5 because I would go 4 because I just really didn't enjoy the experience. But I'd go 4.5 because for what it's trying to do, I thought it was almost faultless. It was very effective. It's multi-layered. There's enough there where you get your teeth into the story, and the characters are very effective. I think maybe just the last 20 minutes, the thing I enjoyed most is the scares kind of die down a little bit for the last kind of 15-20 minutes. But for other people, maybe it's kind of softening the horror elements a little bit. Yeah, I thought performances, location, setting, cinematography, sound, everything was just, for a movie that's trying to do what this is trying to do, it's just excelled in all departments for me.
Yeah, no, I'm actually going the same. I'm going 4.5, man. I thought this was really, really great, and I like that the way it finishes. Like we get a kind of little bit of a flashback. It does leave things a little bit open, as well as to what the meaning was and what everything was. I mean, we'll discuss it when we get to spoilers, but I like that it left that a little bit open as well. But this is just a great. It's really is a great sign. I think that Damian McCarthy, when even given that extra bit of money, is still able to crank out something that feels super claustrophobic and small, and still very impressive. Minimal use of special effects, just I mean CGI effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, just showing what you can do with confident camera work, confident sound work. Like this is just really, really good. So yeah, 4.5 for me as well. Check it out. If you're scared of horror movies, wear a nappy. I don't know, just but go and check it out.
It's a good idea for the next time. Actually, never thought of that.
If you're leaving us there, enjoy the rest of your week, and thanks very much for tuning in. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and tell everybody about our channel. If you're hanging on with us, we're just gonna have a quick chat about some of the spoilerific stuff. So yeah, Daz, what do you want to talk about first? I was gonna mention some of the jump scares, but what have you got for me?
Yeah, some of the jump scares, but I think one of the first elements is when Fiona finds him trying to kill himself in the fucking room. I thought was really, it's just like, whoa, that's a really big dark kind of twist to the movie that I just didn't see kind of coming, and that makes perfect narrative sense to get where they want to go. Where a number like a lot of time has passed, a few weeks or whatever, when he comes back, and they're actually shutting up the hotel and Fiona's gone missing and all that, and you're just going, that's a really effective way to just jump from kind of like, oh, first night in the hotel, to like, it's kind of like you're cutting out 20 minutes of a different movie that you don't need there. I thought that was really clever from a writing point of view. It was just like, that is really, really effective. Jump scare wise, just everything in the honeymoon suite, just every second of it is just like, Jesus fucking Christ, get me out of fucking room. Just even when there was no scares, it's just like I'm struggling to watch the screen. It's just like, oh God, give me a reason. I'll just check YouTube on my phone or something. But cinema was too packed with people on my row, so you're gonna fucking have to watch the screen. But it's when he's in, whenever you see the horror and you see a bed in the middle of a room with those fucking white kind of curtain things around it, you're just like, you know what's coming, and it's how are you going to get? And there's multiple scares that happen in that one. But one when he's kind of asleep and he's having a dream and he kind of just wakes up and you get that fucking woman, and it's in the trailer. Look back at it and it's just a fucking woman with like fucking bunny ears or goat's ears and fucking crazy eyes just staring at him. Just a simple shot. Yeah, that was one of the times I went, fuck you. Just that sent me, if I had popcorn, it would have been on, back 10 rows. That was just incredibly effective. And I kind of enjoyed The Witch when you kind of saw her. Seen people online say there was a bit of an anticlimax because it's not scary. It's kind of weird and kind of creepy. I thought she looked kind of cool. But anything as well, and whenever you see a dumbwaiter and having to get in that and go, it's just, the tension is just, that's why my fingers are sore. It's just like so many sequences. You're just like, just get out of the fucking room, man. Please jump out the window if you have to. Dude, there's just so many. But the movie even starts with a fucking jump scare in the first minute. Just like, oh, come on, with that little kid in the stairs.
But like you said, it's that wide shot of him looking out. He's looking out the what's it called? The rain's coming down outside and the rest of it. And they just still, and I'm like, where is this going to fucking come from? Like this scare. But I didn't care so much about The Witch. Because she wasn't central to she wasn't the main point of the movie. Like if this was called, the Haunted Witch Hotel or some shit like that, or it was bad. It's not really. She's just there as a device to kind of show the consequences of your actions and stuff that we see when for Adam Scott, it's kind of his curiosity, and that's how he gets caught up in this thing. It's for Mal, it's because he tries to use this stuff about the witch to cover up his mistake and stuff like that. She's all about consequences. So she doesn't really need to be this super scary thing. She's just basically this harbinger that brings you off to live with the other fucking horrible dead souls that are trapped inside this hotel.
It was a creepy shot, that,
but I loved the jump scare. I think that one. I didn't realize that was a woman. I thought that's a dude dressed as a bunny. I'm not sure.
Kind of long.
Whatever it was, but just with the eyes, they have the way it cuts. That was the one that got me the jump. But I love that one I mentioned earlier on. He's just walking into the room, and we're just seeing him walk, and just right behind him, like he's walking from behind that partition, and she just the mother just walks in. That's all it is. She doesn't jump, doesn't scare it. It's just boom, and that was just a fuck. Oh, it's so good, so good.
That's the thing, because it's not telegraphed. It's not telegraphed in any way. You're just kind of going, oh, this is, maybe I'm not going to get a jump scare. It's just, love that.
Yeah, I liked as well. I thought was beautiful. It's one of the final shots when he's drawn the kind of chalk around himself to keep himself safe, because after what he's chatting to Fiona earlier on, she mentions about
ring of chalk,
folklore and stuff, and using it. Yeah, but I love that when he's sitting there and his mother comes over, to tell him, like, and he knows he's just saying how sorry he is. Like, this is something. He's held this inside. It wasn't your fault, and I knew straight away when he first mentions. When he asked, "Oh, who was it that killed him?" And he's like, "Oh, someone too young to be punished properly." Straight away, I went, "Oh, that was him when he was a kid." You knew it was going to be. Straight away, I was like, "Oh, it's got to be him." Like, there's no way they wouldn't have gone a bit further. There's no reason to make him to mention that it's someone too young. Could have just been, they never caught the guy. But when the way she comes in and just puts her hands, just said, "I know," I know, and
it's just a lovely
the release
moment,
and it is. It's really, really nice in what is a very horrific scene, because of it's the witch is there. It's Mal getting dragged off to fucking into what's going to be eternal torment by the looks of it, and he's just fucking sitting there, and just it's a really, really, really nice shot. Again, like that, it's one pulled out shot of him just sitting there, his back against the wall, the chalk going around, and he's just like that little child that we see at the start in front of the telly. It's just a full circle kind of thing.
And the fact that the movie is bookended with the fictional story, the fictional visuals of the story that he's writing in the start. It's although I think there's different ways when the guy's like, I need to smash the bottle to get the map to the treasure in the desert, and it's just like, I'm going to smash it off my little, is it his kid or whatever? You don't know. He's going to smash it off the back of his head. There's other ways you could probably try first, maybe your knee or elbow, something like that. But then when
I was looking at this cross around the kid's neck, I was like, could you not just get that.
Do something else.
Keep fucking smashing it.
Don't smash it off his head. But then the fact that, like, you know, when it's bookended with his change and like his release of his grief and everything like that, it's a more positive ending.
Yeah.
And it's really lovely. And when the kid doesn't smash it off his head, which he suggests, and just throws it away, and then you just get that fucking wide shot and you see the bottle that's actually where he threw it is going to find the treasure. But it's like in the desert and you get a sunset behind you and you're just like kind of going, I really wanted to mention that in the cinematography bit, but it's too much of a spoiler for the last shot. But that's a shot. You get about fucking 3 minutes to get that shot. You know what I mean? Or else you're coming back tomorrow. That was just, you pause that and just go, I want that fucking frame on my wall. Just absolutely gorgeous. Just going, that's money well spent with those two sequences bookending the movie. But,
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of nice, softer moments in a movie of absolute madness.
I was going to go into a little bit more about the kind of philosophical stuff around what we talk about, you know, from Jerry talks about, you know, what these things open up your mind. It's only because you believe in them or you can see them. But I think maybe we'll leave it because we've been prattling on the episodes quite long as it is. So I think we'll wrap it up there and leave that up to the audience's imagination. Go and check it out. And please comment. We'd love to know what you thought of it. Were you gushing over it like us, or did you think it was a piece of crap? Let us know in the comments. And as you said before, keep liking, subscribing. It really, really helps us out. And definitely throw a few comments in. So yeah, look, we will see you next week for hopefully another good one. We're hoping, because it's Mortal Kombat, that it's going to be a good one.
Oh, please. Don't be shit.
We'll see. All right, folks. Well, take it easy. Look after each other. And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See you later.